Hi, this is Dr. Shelton-Quinn with Power Coaching 360, and I am so super excited that you decided to tune in today to this powerful segment. Today we're going to be talking about the power of words. The power of words. Did you know that your words have significant and substantial power to propel you forward and launch you right snap in the middle of your dream? Or words have the power to snatch you back and silence your dreams. Words can literally shut you down and silence your dreams. Today, if you don't have a journal, please get out a piece of paper so that you can take notes, write down these points that will help you take your life, your dream, your marriage, your current circumstance to the next level. Power of dreams. Now I'm going to start with a brief story. During my young adult life, I was blessed with the most awesome opportunity to learn a valuable lesson. Now I say an awesome opportunity, though at the time it was very painful, but I learned a lesson for a lifetime. Now, during junior high and high school, I had been a cheerleader, had been to cheer camp, dance camps, had numerous accolades both with the squad and as an individual for dance camp, and really had a host of experience, and I could dance and cheer with my eyes closed. Okay, and I wanted to, like most girls on a cheer squad or dance squad, I wanted to take that with me to college. So I tried out for the pom squad at the university that I was attending my freshman year. And yay, I made it. How exciting. And I practiced and knew what I was doing. And when sophomore year rolled around, we had to all try out again. There was no such thing as being grandfathered in. If you were on the squad last year, you still had to try out again to be on the squad the upcoming year. And initially, I was confident and excited. You know, I was a veteran. I'd done this before. And the week of tryouts, and for those of you who don't know what POM is the dance squad that most universities and colleges have, who perform at the basketball games and the football games. So here I am getting prepared to try out again for my sophomore year. And the entire week we learn a dance. I've learned the dance. I've practiced with my dance leaders. We're our dance colleagues. We've got it. I've got it and know it and am very confident about it. However, something interesting happened during the course of that week. During the course of that week, I, along with all the other candidates learning the dance, I began to look around, and some of you know where I'm going, and began to scope out my competition. I began to look around and see what everyone else was doing and how they were doing it. And as I began to look around, I had a fleeting thought. It said, you're not going to make it this year. You're just not good enough this year. You're not going to make it. You're just not good enough this year. And the more I thought it, I began to say it to myself. See, one of the things about thoughts, and oftentimes we don't even realize it, thoughts, after they occur, oftentimes we verbalize them. Sometimes unbeknownst to ourselves, we verbalize them. And so I began to think it and thus then begin to speak it. And the more I begin to think it and speak it, I begin to receive it. And the more I begin to receive it and embrace it, I begin to believe it. I believed it. No matter how I practiced, no matter how I got compliments from my colleagues, you're doing a good job, you've got this, I began to believe what I was speaking to myself. You're just not good enough. You're just not gonna make it this year. You are not good enough. The more I began to believe it, it became a part of my belief system. And how many people know that your belief system dictates and defines your behaviors in and about that particular thing? So whatever you believe about something, your behavior tends to line up with that belief. Does that make sense? When I was little, we would say, don't step on a crack and break your mother's back. Some of you have heard that before. And I remember being terrified to step on a crack and hopping over them because a part of you believed it. A part of you believed it. Okay? So, and I don't do that anymore, but I remember that experience in conjunction with me speaking to myself about not making it on the cheer squad and believing it. And I believed it. It became a part of my belief system. And so even the more I practiced, the more I would say it. And even though people would say, no, you've got this, girl, you've been doing this forever, you're going to get this, I would say to myself, I would say, and if you don't know, let me just enlighten you. Of all the people that you come in contact with, the one that you will hear and believe the most is you. The one that has the most credibility to impact your behavior is you. So whatever you are saying to yourself, it has power to determine where you are going, and how fast you get there. So let me go back to the story. So I am in the middle of cheer or pom squad tryouts for the university. I've learned the dance, but I've also scoped out my competition and began to say to myself, you're not gonna make it. You're just not good enough this year. I began to believe it. I began to adopt it. It became a part of my belief system. Day of tryouts is here. Day of tryouts is here. Now, tryouts are in a huge arena. Okay? A huge building with a large open area. And they've decided to have open tryouts. What does that mean? Everybody and their mama is there. The athletic teams are there. The instructors are there. Everybody is there to cheer on. Parents are there to cheer on and get excited, and they are waiting the outcome to find out who makes up the Pom Squad for the upcoming year. So, and for those of you who are familiar, you know this is a big deal. So, it's my turn. My name is called over the PA system. I take center stage. I can see the anticipation on the faces of the audience. They're on the edges of their seats. And there I stand, veteran Pom Squad member, with a thought in my mind, with an adopted belief, you're just not good enough. You're just not good enough. You're not gonna make it this year. Then boom, the music starts roaring, and I stand there paralyzed by my own disbelief. I can't remember a thing. My disbelief and the words that I hear soaring through my mind, you're just not good enough. You're not gonna make it this year, literally paralyze me and disable my ability to perform. I stand there with defeat on my face and disenchantment in my heart. I drop my head and I walk off the stage. As I exit the building, tears in my eyes, someone walks up to me and they say, "What happened? You've been doing this forever. You know this stuff." Immediately, I'm reminded of the words that I spoke to myself. I'm reminded of the words that dictated my ability to perform. I'm reminded of the belief that literally disabled my ability to recollect and perform. The power of words. It was at that very moment that I realized that there is substantial and significant power in the words that we speak. I know many of you know the story of the little engine that could, and he had to go up this big hill that was very steep, and he kept saying, I think I can, I think I can. There is truth to that story. That is not just a childhood fable. It is true. The words that you speak have power to propel you, push you forward, allow you to grab a hold to your dream, allow you to swallow the seeds of success, and your words also have the power to snatch you back, shut you down, and silence your dream. The power of words. The power of words. Now, let me say this. You know who you are because it was spoken to you over and over and over and over and over again. You were called that name all throughout your infancy, all throughout your toddlerhood, and now when someone says your name, I don't care whether you're in an arena with billions of people or whether you're in a mall, it doesn't matter where you are. If your first name echoes over the PA system, you're going to turn around and look like, hey, I'm the only one in the world that exists with this name, because that name has come to define who you are, because it was spoken to you over and over and over and over again. Okay, so now when we look at the power of words, the things that we say to ourselves, even sometimes when we say them silently, about ourselves. I'm not good enough. I don't look the part. I don't have what it takes. I'm ugly. Nobody likes me. This marriage is not going to work. My child is not going to ever be anything. He's going to be just like his father. When we speak these words then have power to determine where we're going and how we respond to our children, how we respond to our marriages, how we respond to the progress towards our potential dream. Your words dictate where you're going and how quickly you will get there. When I was working on my doctoral degree, I would say to myself over and over every day and never cease to say it, I am Dr. Anitra Shelton-Quinn. I can do this. I was built for this. It is mine. It is mine. I can do what it takes. And you know what? When I began to speak that every day, I was completing those tasks that I needed to do. I was completing those tasks. I was doing that writing, even doing the revisions over and over again, because I was speaking to myself that I could. And the more I spoke it, I believe it. It became a part of my belief system. And as it became a part of my belief system, it then dictated my behavior. So my behavior began to line up with what I was saying. My behavior began to line up with what I was saying. What are you saying to you? What are you speaking over you? What are you adopting? What are you embracing? What are you believing about you? Of all the people that speak to you day in and day out, that say things to you, that encourage you, the words that you speak to yourself have the most power to change your life. The most power. We've got to start speaking what we want. We've got to start speaking what we want to see. Don't speak what it looks like now. Yeah, you may be tired, you may be exhausted. Let me tell you something. Have you ever experienced this? I know I have. When I have been tired and I have verbalized and I said, I'm so tired, I don't know what I'm going to do. And you know what? The more I said it, the more tired I became. The more I spoke it, the more exhausted I felt. The more I spoke it, it was like I could not even function. All I could do, all I wanted to do was grab a hold of a pillow and lie down my head because I just couldn't take it anymore. Whatever you speak, it dictates your behavior. And I will go as far as to say it can even exacerbate what you feel about it. Okay? It can exacerbate or intensify. So if you, and I remember experiencing that with my dissertation. The more I would say, I am Dr. Shelton-Quinn, I would get it almost like a burst of energy would come zooming in out of the sky, like I'd eaten some spinach like Popeye, and I'm ready to go. I'm revved up, and I can type this. I can be on this computer, and I can type out this long 200-page dissertation. I can do the revisions over and over umpteen times, because I believe that I am. And that's where I need you to be right now. I need you to join with me right there. Right there. Whatever it is that you want, that you're dreaming for, that you're believing for, I need you to speak that right now. I am, I will be, I can, because you can. I believe in you. You have the capacity to do it. You have the ability to do it. You have everything that you need right before you. You've just got to believe it. Little engine, you can do it. You have got to believe that you can, because when we believe it, there is a power that encompasses you, that picks you up, and that thrust you out there to do just what you said. There is. I'm here to tell you, there is. So there are some things that you can do to help this process. Okay. I spoke about a journal a couple of times. That is an invaluable asset, because what needs to happen oftentimes for us to speak something, it helps when we have it written down. Okay, so write down what you want, how you want to be, what it is that you're believing for, whatever that dream is, whatever that desire is. Write it down and begin to speak it over and over, so that it becomes second nature to you, so that it becomes just like your name, so that it becomes a part of who you are. It becomes a part of your belief system, and your behaviors will begin to line up with it. You'll begin to complete tasks that are required for you to meet that goal or attain that dream or live that life. You'll begin to meet those tasks and complete them, because your behavior will line up with what you are saying. I had a friend who was working on her business once, and she got sticky notes, and she put them all over her refrigerator. She put them all over her car, and they were notes that would say, I can, I am, I can do this, I was built for this, it's mine. And she had them everywhere, because she wanted to remind herself to speak it over herself. Even in her sleep, she told me that she would even begin to hear it in her sleep. And I've experienced that myself. When you speak something over your life and it becomes a part of you, and you speak it over and over and over and over again, what happens is it begins to again become second nature. You'll begin to hear it like a song. You ever hear that song on a commercial about a detergent or something, and you keep singing it and you don't even know you're singing it? Okay? That's what happens when you speak to yourself. That's what happens. It becomes a part of you. And words have power to propel you. They can either propel you or pull you down. Be careful what you speak. Many people today are dealing with low self-esteem, not so much because what other people said, but because of what they're saying to themselves. You've got to be your biggest cheerleader. You've got to be your best asset. You've got to be, because you're with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And guess what? That dream you have, I'm talking to you, that dream you have, we need it to live. I need it to live. Your family needs it to live. Your children need it to live. Those that will come after you need it to live. As we're talking about dreams, I'm reminded of the late, great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who had a dream. And it didn't matter how difficult it was, what it cost him. And I'm sure there were days and nights that he had to speak to himself, to encourage himself, to speak that dream, to speak positively and say, I can do this. I was built for this. I can do this. I can lead. I can do this. No matter how hard it got, I can do this. No matter how difficult it was, I can do this. No matter the tears years, no matter the drought, I can do this. And it is because of his dream and his belief in that dream that he said one day, and he believed that. He believed what he spoke. And because he believed it, he continued pursuing it. And because he continued pursuing it, it came to pass. And now we live in his dream. We are living out his dream. We're living proof of the manifestation of his dream. The more you speak something, the more your behavior lines up. The more your behavior lines up, it will manifest. It will materialize, just like a tree. A tree is a plant that is watered. And when it is watered, it grows. Your words are water to your dream. Your words are sustenance to where you want to go. You have got to fuel it. You've got to sow where you want to go. Let your words sow into your dream. Let your words build you up, propel you, establish you so that you can get those things completed. Don't procrastinate. Move forward today. We need your dream to live. There is power in the words that you speak. I believe in you. I'm touching and agreeing with you today. I'm believing with you today that whatever you are going after, whatever you are pursuing, that it is yours. You can do this. You were built for this. You came pre-packaged with everything that you need for this dream. All you've got to do is speak it. And as you speak it, you've got to believe it and adopt it and begin to live that thing out. It is yours for the taking. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Dr. Anitra Shelton-Quinn with Power Coaching 360. Have a wonderful week.